Peace. This is King Noble Black Supremacy. And with this particular video, I want to talk about praying and worshiping a true and living black God. I want to go in on that a little bit, what that looks like, what's that about. A lot of people be like, well, I'm not worshiping no man. I'm not worshiping no man. Not realizing that in every scriptures, the deity, whether it's Allah, Yahweh, Yahweh, Krishna, Buddha, the list goes on. In all of your scriptures and holy books, these deities have man-like features. They have man-like attributes. They're likened to a supreme man, a supreme being that's somewhat in the form of a man. The deity being referred to as he. When I say man, I mean human-like entity. Arm, leg, arm, head, mouth, eyes, ears. So you are worshiping the image and likeness of man, or that of which man was created in the likeness and image of, according to your scriptures. But when you see man, do you see the image of God? Do you see the eternal reoccurrence of divine consciousness as man, as the black man? Do you see that when you look at man? Because you're not looking at someone who is just here now in front of you. You're looking at a reoccurrence of a phenomenon that is being reoccurring for millions of years. There's nothing new under the sun. There's nobody new under the sun. So this prototype, phenotype, this DNA, it's reoccurring, reshaping, re-embodying itself. And we have the opportunity to re-celebrate that occurrence if our consciousness, if our mind is in a divine space. If we see more than what the mundane and limited consciousness of people of our time want you to see through their televisions, propaganda, promotions, advertisements, news, media. It's something that they want you to see that is new. It is a new image, a new perspective. It is a new dimension that they have created. It is a realm of deception that works for them. They have orchestrated evil as an idea that they exploit and utilize and overlay over your reality. And that's what you are seeing. You are not seeing the eternal dance of divine energy that embodies human form. You're not seeing that. You're seeing the propaganda that was created by mankind, a kind of a man, but a very deceptive, evil, diabolical entity that must be lower vibrational and lower frequency in order to survive. You are seeing what they want you to see. It makes them money. It keeps them alive. It allows them to vampire. It allows them to suck. And it allows them to dominate. And they just invented that new idea. And you are partaking of that new idea. You're consuming. You're eating that apple. You're partaking of that iniquity. But when you can see the eternal entity that is manifested as man, as the supreme black being, you seeing that in King Noble Divine. When you see what God is, was, and forever more shall be packaged in a human being that is a reoccurring phenomenon. A reoccurring phenomenon. You're not worshiping that which is simply before you. You're worshiping that which is before, and that which will be after before. You are looking at an eternal entity. If you can go into an infinite state of mind, you can see the very presence of God. God is a loop that repeats itself. God is restitching and reinventing itself, re-embodying and reconstructing itself over and over again as an eternal dance, and giving you an opportunity to celebrate that perfection that exists eternally throughout eons. Is in your presence now if your third eye can awaken. If your consciousness can be awakened beyond the reality that they have presented before you and told you what to see, what is there, what is visible. They have told you that and dictated that and gave you and rendered a reality, gave that to you. They have manufactured it. It's genetically modified. It's inorganic. And they want you to see that. And you believe that that is reality and that is how things is. And you wonder why you're in the limited dimension that you in. You wonder why you're seeing limitation and having struggle and caught up into illusions. And why we can't ascend as a race, because it's their reality. It's their operating system that we're operating out of. We don't see the eternal God energy, the nameless God energy, before name, before sound. As dark matter consciousness embody itself, we can't just look right into that no more. We're looking at man's world. We're looking at mankind's world, mankind's level of perception, man's inaccuracies and errors. So when you're praying to a living black God, you're seeing black God in the form and in the manifestation of a living entity, as in King Noble Divine. It's an eternal being that is reawakening, that is the manifestation of your reawakening as you awaken to the opportunity to be in the presence of the realization of divine consciousness. This is your moment. This is your opportunity to step out and beyond the matrix, their world, of what they're told you, of what they're forcing you to see. Going beyond that, going beyond those illusions and seeing it as it is. Going beyond time and space and seeing it as it is, and seeing God, seeing this eternal and perpetual dance of divine consciousness that constantly re-embodies itself as an opportunity for you to awaken. Entities constantly reincarnating into a video game. But when you wake up and realize that it is a game, and you see things for what they are beyond the illusionary paradigm, that's your moment of awakening. That's your moment of transcendence. So the manifestation of a living God, of whom you can worship, pray to, and acknowledge the eternal existence of the Most High in, is your opportunity, is your challenge to awaken right now beyond all of the bullshit. Because the world is not going to change until your perception can change. You can't change a world within a limited perception. Your perception has to change, and right there the world changes for you. The world does not change outside of you. The world doesn't change for you. It changes through and as you. And you must change and challenge yourself to step beyond the illusionary paradigm that keeps you locked in the fourth dimensional reality that was created by Satan, that was created by the enemy. So a living black God is the protagonist, is the antagonist, the antithesis of all of the narratives that has been given to you, of all of the contexts that has been given to you about black people, about the black man, about who we are, how we can be, and what we are right now, and the value of our existence. You're being challenged when a black living embodiment of the eternal representation, eternal reflection of the Most High, of the God of all creations, of the universe, of all eternity, is put before you to go against the false illusionary realm of the matrix. It's challenging you to step out of all of that to say, well, my God. Now you're stepping outside of it. That's your moment of transcendence. And you're worshiping beyond the physical reality as it exists now. You are stepping into the eternal expression, the eternal, constant, perpetual re-embodiment of dark matter consciousness as the physical being that you're calling King Noble, that you're calling a man, that you're calling a physical entity. You're seeing beyond the physical. You're going into the metaphysical, beyond space and time, quantum awakening of reality, coming out of all their illusions before they created every false and temporal idea and construct that they have, going beyond all their temporal expressions. No longer trapped there, and stepping into the eternal reality of supreme black God consciousness that is King Noble Divine. This is King Noble Black Supremacy. Join my website, www.kingnoblepblacksupremacy.com. Donate and don't hate.